Why dark academia is more than an aesthetic, lifestyle, and mindset. Picture yourself in a dimly lit library, the scent of aged paper lingering in the air. The rain outside taps against tall windows, and the flicker of candlelight dances across a desk cluttered with notebooks, half-written essays, and a cup of black coffee. For a moment, you forget the chaos of the modern world and step into a space where thought, beauty, and knowledge reign supreme. For dark academia isn't about appearances. It's about embracing slowness, reflection, and the timeless pursuit of wisdom in a world that often forgets to pause. This is the essence of dark academia. It's easy to think of it as just an aesthetic, a curated feed of tweed coats, ivy-covered universities, and moody playlists, but in truth, it is something far deeper. Dark academia is a lifestyle, a mindset, one that resonates with those who yearn for meaning in a fast-paced, digital age. But before we dive in, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on our upcoming videos. Now, let's get started. Beyond the aesthetic, the core of dark academia. At its surface, dark academia appears like an aesthetic movement born out of Instagram feeds and TikTok montages. Plaid skirts, Oxford shoes, dim study corners, and annotated classics. But beneath those visuals lies a philosophy. It is a lifestyle that emphasizes intellectual curiosity, the pursuit of beauty, and a reverence for knowledge. Dark academia does not exist merely in fashion or decor. It thrives in the way its followers think, create, and engage with the world around them. Those who embrace it are not simply dressing the part. They are shaping their daily lives around values that prioritize reflection, scholarship, creativity, and a search for deeper truths. The romanticization of knowledge. Dark academia's greatest strength lies in how it romanticizes knowledge. While much of the modern world treats education as a means to an end, grades, jobs, and practical success, dark academia asks us to return to the roots of learning for learning's sake. It celebrates the process of diving into ancient texts, exploring forgotten philosophies, and engaging in discussions that may not yield easy answers but spark wonder and curiosity. In this way, it aligns with traditions of classical education and Renaissance humanism, where knowledge was not just about utility but about cultivating the soul. Dark academia enthusiasts embrace learning as a lifelong passion, not a requirement that ends at graduation. A connection to literature and art. At its heart, dark academia is literary. It thrives in the company of books, the poetry of Lord Byron, the tragedies of Shakespeare, the Gothic intensity of Mary Shelley. But it is not limited to the canon. Modern works, foreign literature, and personal journaling also carry weight. To love dark academia is to see books as companions and art as essential to living. This mindset extends into how followers engage with creativity. Writing, painting, and music become acts of both self-expression and homage to the great thinkers who came before. A dark academia lifestyle invites you to approach every page you write, and every line you read as part of a greater timeless conversation. The Gothic undertone. What makes dark academia so distinct from other intellectual subcultures is its embrace of the Gothic and melancholic. It is not afraid to acknowledge death, fragility, and the fleeting nature of time. Cemeteries, candlelight, and autumnal decay are not merely backdrops but metaphors for life's impermanence. This perspective is what sets dark academia apart. Rather than avoiding uncomfortable truths, it leans into them. It reminds us that beauty often coexists with sorrow, and that life is richer when we do not shy away from the darker side of existence. Lifestyle practices within dark academia. To live dark academia is to weave its values into everyday life. It can be as simple as journaling by hand instead of typing, or as elaborate as studying Latin philosophy or classical literature in your free time. Clothing choices, wool coats, vintage blazers, muted tones, reflect an alignment with timelessness rather than fleeting trends. Even daily routines take on a different rhythm. A walk through an old library becomes more than an errand. It becomes an act of devotion to beauty. Drinking tea or coffee while annotating a book becomes a small ritual, one that transforms the mundane into something poetic. A community of kindred spirits. Dark academia also creates community. The aesthetic first found its popularity online, but what sustains it is the shared mindset among people across the globe who seek depth in a shallow age. Online forums, book clubs, and even quiet conversations over literature draw together individuals who might otherwise feel isolated in their intellectual passions. There is comfort in knowing that somewhere, someone else is also rereading Greek tragedies at midnight or keeping a journal filled with philosophical questions. The aesthetic may connect us visually, but the mindset pawns us intellectually. The influence of history and academia. The roots of dark academia are planted firmly in historical academia. Think of Ivy League universities, Oxford halls, and the scholarly traditions of Europe's oldest institutions. The aesthetic mirrors these backdrops because they represent centuries of intellectual pursuit. Yet the movement also critiques modern academia, which often reduces learning to numbers and outcomes. Dark academia allows us to reclaim what universities once symbolized: a love of learning unbound by productivity. Even if you never step foot into a Gothic lecture hall, embracing this mindset lets you carry that scholarly reverence into your personal life. Philosophy and self-reflection. A significant part of the dark academia lifestyle is philosophy, both academic and personal. To question the meaning of existence, to wrestle with morality, to ponder beauty and truth, these are all central to the mindset. This reflective habit encourages journaling, dialogue, and even existential wandering. For many, it is a way to balance the noise of the modern world with quiet contemplation. Philosophy is not treated as distant or impractical, but as essential. It becomes a guiding force in making sense of one's inner world and the world at large. The role of aesthetics in mindset. Though dark academia is more than an aesthetic, it would be wrong to dismiss the aesthetic entirely. The visuals, sepia tones, candlelit studies, Gothic architecture, are not just decoration but tools. They create an atmosphere that inspires reflection and anchors the mindset in daily practice. When you surround yourself with beauty that reflects your values, you're more likely to live those values. The environment becomes a mirror of the philosophy, reminding you daily to pause, read, think, and create. The critiques of dark academia. Like any movement, dark academia is not without criticism. Some argue that it romanticizes privilege, since its visuals often feature elite universities and access to rare books. Others suggest it can glamorize burnout by making endless studying look romantic rather than exhausting. These critiques remind us that the movement must be approached with balance. At its core, dark academia is not about perfection or exclusivity. It is about finding beauty in knowledge and reflection, regardless of background or setting. Anyone can embody the mindset, whether in a university library or at a small desk in their own home. Why it matters in today's world. In an age dominated by fast content, endless scrolling, and disposable trends, dark academia offers something radical: slowness. It asks us to stop, to reflect, to read deeply instead of skimming, to think critically instead of consuming passively. This lifestyle reminds us that meaning is not found in instant gratification, but in depth, patience, and curiosity. For many, this is why it resonates so deeply. It provides a counterbalance to modern chaos and a refuge in an overstimulated world. Dark academia as mindset, living the philosophy. Ultimately, what makes dark academia more than an aesthetic is the mindset it cultivates. It invites us to live thoughtfully, to search for beauty in every corner, and to embrace both light and shadow. It is not about perfectly curating your wardrobe or having access to ancient libraries. It is about cultivating an inner life that is rich, reflective, and deeply connected to art and knowledge. Living in this way transforms ordinary existence into something profound. The act of reading a poem becomes a sacred ritual, a simple notebook becomes a companion for your most important thoughts, and solitude becomes an opportunity rather than a burden. Closing reflection. So, when we ask why dark academia is more than an aesthetic, the answer is clear. It is a lifestyle and a mindset, rooted in values that are timeless. It challenges us to think more deeply, to live more poetically, and to embrace knowledge and beauty even in their most melancholic forms. It reminds us that life itself can be an art, shaped by reflection and inspired by the literary and intellectual traditions of the past. If this exploration into the deeper layers of dark academia has sparked something in you, take it as an invitation. And for more journeys into the beauty, mystery, and philosophy of this world, stay connected with the Dark Academia Journal. Together we can keep alive the art of thinking, creating, and living beyond the surface.